Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans, just naked Ireland. We begin our visit to Georgian Armagh here at the Armagh Courthouse. This is a Grade A listed building. This building was largely destroyed by a £1,000 IRA bomb in 1993 and reopened after extensive rebuilding in 1999. Facing the courthouse at the other side of the mall is the imposing Georgian façade of Armagh Gaol, built in 1780 and mostly functioning as a women's prison. We then turn into the mall, the great elongated park that has the courthouse and the jail as its bookends. It's a beautiful centrepiece to the city, offering a thin green oasis between the Georgian architecture. There are several sculptures here of note. This bronze globe, for example, by the artist Robert Conley, is called Turning Point. It was originally commissioned in 1992 for St Anne's Square in Belfast, but ended up here after being removed during redevelopment. As you can see, it's a 2.5 metre diameter globe with the impressions of 4 figures in negative relief on the sides. You can actually look through the eye holes of the figures, revealing the positive casts of the other 3. Not far from this, we have this monument to the victims of the Armagh rail disaster of 1889, in which almost 90 people lost their lives, many of them children. The incident happened as a train journeyed on a Sunday school outing to Warrenpoint. It is to this day the worst ever railway disaster in Ireland. As we approach the middle of the mall, we're now walking across the park towards the Russian gun, a huge cannon captured by British forces during the Crimean War. It's worth noting that the mall is also a cricket ground used by Armagh Cricket Club. So here we are, the gun itself. I guess it's impressive if it can be viewed as a piece of sculpture. It certainly has a prime location here in the mall. Then just to the rear of it we can see this other war monument to the Royal Irish Fusiliers and commemorating their campaign in the Boer War in South Africa. As we walk off to the side of the mall we see this fabulous terrace of Georgian townhouses, and just in the distance there we can see the Armagh County Museum. This museum is the oldest county museum in Ireland, but began life as Charlemont Place National School. But what is both bizarre and quite sad about the centre of this architectural gem of a city is that while it has some truly outstanding buildings, at some point the planners must have thought that this development, right next to them, was a great idea. But I'm glad to say that this kind of development isn't typical, and this former bank is more like what you can expect on a visit to the city. We're now approaching another newer addition to the city, the Marketplace Theatre. This modern building is nestled in a truly beautiful part of the city in Market Square between Upper English Street and Cathedral Close. I think it's largely a success and seems well bedded in here, with minimal impact on its Georgian surroundings. And just look at its surroundings. The Marketplace Theatre has a 400-seat auditorium and 120-seat studio space, as well as conference facilities. We're now walking towards the former market house. As you can see, it's in a splendid position between the theatre and these beautifully renovated Georgian houses. In the centre of all this is a large Celtic cross, again emphasising the religious significance of this part of Ireland. Armagh City is known as the ecclesiastical capital of Ireland, and that is because it is not one but two cathedrals, both named St Patrick's. The Church of Ireland Cathedral, seen here, and the Roman Catholic Cathedral that we looked at in a separate video. Check that out if you haven't already seen it. Essentially, Armagh is not only the seat of the Archbishops of Armagh, but also the primates of all Ireland. However, the city's importance goes back long before this ecclesiastical notoriety. In fact, close to here, the ancient Navan fort, Armagh, was in pagan times one of the great royal sites of Gaelic Ireland. This place is also, of course, closely linked to our patron saint, St Patrick, who arrived here in the 5th century. He built a stone church here in the place he wanted to become the centre of Irish Christianity. This Church of Ireland Cathedral is thought to stand on the site of St Patrick's first church. We'll visit the interior of this remarkable place in a separate film. As we wander further in Georgian Armagh, down past the shambles, please take a moment now to like and subscribe. This is so important in terms of supporting the channel. I hope you've enjoyed this film, and if so, I'll see you in the next.